Hey, this is Landon Lampkin, and I am doing the Reinvisioning the School for Module 3. I have several things here that I would like to alter schools and to improve schools to be more in the 21st century. One of the first things that I would do would to be to make a space for social emotional learning and have a school that is completely trauma informed care, and that includes having areas where students can go and be and regulate themselves, as well as making sure there is designated time for social emotional learning, such as morning meetings in on a daily basis, and encourage teachers to incorporate social emotional learning throughout their curriculum and their instruction during the day as well. To use moments as teachable moments and take things and encourage students to work collaboratively to create time and space that their social emotional learning will increase and that they will be able to work better. If that is not the first step that we take, the academics are going to suffer. And in my school district, we have seen this year, especially, that if we aren't going to pay attention to the social emotional learning, that students are having a harder time every year learning what they need to learn because they can't get past the social emotional and the trauma that has been and that they have experienced. One of the big changes that I would make to the structures would be for the graduation and what they and requirements for graduation and how that's going to look. I really enjoyed how Jacobs in her book explained the digital portfolio that a lot of schools are doing. I think this would be really good paired with a pathway of student interest, so that if they are interested in the medical field, that they could go through and do a biology or something like that. And we obviously wouldn't want to make it too specific because people change their minds, and you wouldn't want to be like, well, I have all this information about something, but it would give them just a general, still hitting all the requirements that are set for graduation, but going down a pathway of something that they may enjoy. And I think this could take as much time as needed if they are able to complete this pathway and through this portfolio and explain it and show others, right, and present it in a way that is successful. Then they could be done early, or if they need a couple years or a year or so more, they could finish it as much time as they would need. This brings me to the next point of the fluid time schedule, which is also brought up in Jacobs. I think it would be awesome if there was a way for teachers to or students to be able to work in the subjects that they need to work on in the times that they can work on it. If this is 3 hours twice a week in a 3 hour block and working on calculus with that teacher, or 40 minutes 5 days a week to discuss government and current events with that teacher, this I think would create a more fluid time schedule, even if there was the 8 o'clock to 3:15 or whatever that this all falls into. I have heard Randy Watson, the education commissioner, discuss several times about a trip to Wilder, Idaho, and the flexibility that the students at that school had. And he has spoken, and I've read about, which is going to be in my references, about how there's been schools who have worked that the students working in the library, and they could be working on 5 different things with different teachers. And there are calculus kids over here, and sociology kids over there, and psychology kids, and all these different classes are working, and they are taking the time that they need and mastering the standards with that teacher. And I think that flexibility is the future of education. Another big thing I think would be important to re-envision the school is through global collaboration, and reaching cultures across the globe to have discussions about things that are happening there, or history, or language, or a vast majority of conversation, or vast endless possibilities of conversation. This can happen within the United States as well, and through either a book discussion with a school in California, or a language discussion with a group in France. I think this would be able to really expand the students' exposure to other cultures and to other peoples. In my school district, which is a very rural district, a lot of the kids don't get out of the state like ever, or have the opportunity to talk with somebody who is different with them. And I think this would be a good way to expose students to the global community that they are a part of. The last structure that I would look at is the educational technology to experience curriculum in new ways. This could be through VR labs and using for science and math and history, and being able to look at things through virtual reality or augmented reality, and being able to understand how things work by visualizing it through the VR. This would be really, really awesome, I think. Another way would be through the swivel, and being able to have students, for teachers to improve their teaching, but students to also be able to use the swivel in presentations, and being able to watch themselves and share with others, or watch a professor from a different place after they give or a teacher from a different place after they give after they teach or give a presentation. Another place with educational technology, I think social networking worked into classes and curriculum would be a very beneficial thing for the future of education. This is done through Seesaw, as I mentioned previously in my paper, in some schools and in some classes. But I feel like this is a place that education still has a place where somewhere to go. This would be a way to work with those relational skills through an online community that many students are not the best at, and which can have lasting impacts. Even decisions made in high school can have lasting impacts way in the future. So these are a few of the things that I felt like would be really good to look at and to re-envision a school and to change. Thanks.